So, okay, we got a no over here. Not totally, okay. You probably wouldn't be here if you were absolutely happy with those results. How to create a profile today for online dating. Now, you'll have the skills on how to really write an awesome profile that's going to get you what you want. Think of yourself as the product. This is your marketing campaign, and you get to design it any way that you like. Stress being authentic. We're trying to capture the essence of who you are in a couple of sentences. Yes, she's saying, right? And watch the negative self-talk. This is really important. What I mean by that is we all have areas that we know could be improved, that are not our favorite aspects of ourselves. That's handled. Know that you're working on it now. So when you go to write your profile, you will stress the positives. Right? People want to know, what are the benefits of what I'm buying right now? The benefits, what am I going to get? And the third one we haven't talked about yet is targeting, knowing your target audience. Who are those men that you want? It's in your mindset, you attract it, and then you can recognize it when it shows up because you know what it is you're looking for. So keep those three things in mind, right? Know your product, love your product, and know who you're targeting, know your target audience. What would your friends say? Like I asked Phyllis earlier, what would they say about you? Declaration. You're declaring what it is you want. Adrenaline, the dopamine's going, and all these chemicals in our body, and we don't necessarily see clearly. But if you think about all the relationships that you've had, saw those red flags. When you go on a date and that chemistry gets kicked up, that you have a list, you have a thing to refer to keep yourself. You start out with certain beliefs, certain core values, and those values and beliefs help us make decisions. That's going to propel us into some sort of action that we put out there, and that's going to give us a specific result. So if you're not happy with the results, you got to rewind the tape and look back at what are the beliefs that I truly hold. Why? Because you're going to have clarity. Clarity is going to, coming from these lists that you write, you're going to have clarity. So you are going to be lined up, synced up with what you want, and putting that out into the world, and you're going to manifest back what it is that you're looking for. And you'll recognize him when he shows up.
So that's the work, is really bringing people to consciousness through many different practices, whether it's breathing, meditation, all kinds of practices. I don't remember where I heard this, but some of you may have heard this about Michelangelo before these sculpts. I see a lot of teachers over here that I know go like this. So before he sculpts, he doesn't always see a slab of marble before him. What he sees is the perfect sculpture already. All he does is take his tools and you guys can relate, chip away what doesn't belong. So that perfect sculpture can simply emerge. And it's really not about attaining anything more. It's simply removing the pieces that drag us down, that don't belong. Has anyone in here done a sweat lodge? You know, one lesson I really got from it too was the more we resist, the more we suffer. Because surrender is the key to happiness, I tell you. Because anything that happens in life, if we are resisting, we suffer. Which is so key. But what we find is the more we chase, the more we become disillusioned. Because each path leads to a dead end. Is everyone with me, or was I had that experience? Okay. Babies are pure love, aren't they? That's all they are. But yes, you've had 6. She's like, well, it started out that way. The sun is always shining, but today we could not see it here. For those of us who live here, the sun almost never came out. But it's always up there doing its job. But those days when it's cloudy, we tend to doubt, we lose faith. And it's what we do here. Sometimes when we feel disconnected, that the universe is both self-organizing and self-correcting. But the acorn is destined to become that oak tree. It doesn't think about it, it just does. It grows into its full potential. The way a bud becomes a blossom. The same way an embryo is determined to be that baby, moving out of the place of victimhood and to take responsibility and saying, you know what? Those wounds need to be healed because I'm here to live out my full potential. I'm here for a purpose, so whatever gifts I've been given, let me bring those to fruition. The universe is conspiring, guys, is conspiring to what? To help us on this path, to become the best that we can be. But so what pulls us off? It's core beliefs.
Parking tickets.
Parking tickets! Good one. When I was a kid, I was afraid of the dark. I was terrified. I would hide under the covers, and I was sure that, that monster that was always hiding in that same corner was going to get me. So I wouldn't pee even. I would just be scared and hide under my covers. So I don't know what happened one day. Either I had to pee bad enough, or I got the courage to turn on the light. No monster. But I would never have experienced that had I not turned on the light. So we stay stuck. How many people stay under the covers, under the safety light? There are days, come on, admit it. There are days, right? One very common core belief for a lot of us from our childhood is, I'm not good enough. I'm not deserving. I don't deserve love. I don't deserve to have abundance. I don't deserve to have a quality life. Looking through that lens. So imagine you're walking through life, and the lens that you are viewing everything and experiencing everything through is that you're not good enough, or you're not deserving. The book is broken into 3 parts: consciousness, presence, receptivity, CP. So the first stage really is about taking inventory. Like literally, we don't have a pulse when we're not breathing. But the first step really is getting the awareness, because if we don't have awareness of our core beliefs, we can't change. When we recognize we're not present, what do we have to do? We have to get present. So how do we get present? Lots of ways. Breathing is probably the most efficient, fastest, easiest way to get back in our bodies and become present.
That's right.
Change is inevitable. Growth is optional. The role of management, Sharon probably knows this, has changed radically and continues to change daily, with global markets altering the way in which we do business, systems and procedures constantly shifting. So a wow today is the standard tomorrow. So it's really no longer acceptable to relax into mediocrity in management. It's time to step up into powerful leadership. So what makes a great leader? Take a moment, think, if you will, about someone that you greatly admire, a leader. So I want you to think of at least 2 characteristics they hold. What makes them a great leader? And together, let's create a list. We're going to look today at the skill set, but also the attitude and mindset necessary to be an effective leader. The average person, let's start with attitudes. The average person thinks about 60,000 thoughts a day. Thoughts have been proven to be energy, they're power, right? Examining at least our beliefs and what we're actually spending our time thinking about. So thoughts determine every single decision that we make all day long. Those decisions move us into action, specific actions, and those actions give us what? Results. So if you're not satisfied with the results that you've been getting, it's time to look at what actions you took, what decisions you made, but ultimately, what are the values, what are the beliefs? If, for example, I'm about to embark on a new project with my team, we're getting ready to start tomorrow, and I'm so excited about this project, but I have a greater value on wanting people to like me than I do on the success of the project. So you get the idea. It's probably not going to be as successful as it needs to be, and I'm not going to gain much respect from my team. Every organization has, these are what I've coined as the 3 V's. 20% are victors, those team members who go over and above. You know who those are. 60% vessels, reliable, steady, good employees. What do you think this last 20% makes up? You guys are really good. Victims get their needs met by complaining. Don't engage. If you engage, you will end up spending 80% of your time as managers on this, your least effective, least productive time. So what you want to do is really spend the majority of your time on your good employees, rewarding good behavior. Abraham Maslow, I'm a psychologist, the great psychologist, said they need to feel certain, accepted, and significant. Okay? So let's move on to skills. Communication, top of my list. I think communication is absolutely essential, right? It's the ability to share our ideas, our thoughts, our expectations, even in difficult situations. The most common complaint of workers today is the lack of communication. So why is that? There was a study done by Stanford and Carnegie Mellon that says long-term job success is basically 75% is due to people skills, 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. Listening is the single most important component of communication. Knowledge plus action equals it makes you of value to your employer. And as I said earlier, Abraham Maslow, everyone needs to feel valued, needs to feel significant, needs to feel important. So, all the knowledge you gain, everything you learned in here today, if you don't go back to your office tomorrow and put these skills into action, implement what you've learned, the equation dies. And as I said earlier, in today's competitive job market with budgets being cut and people being laid off, there is no room for mediocrity. We've got to learn to be powerful leaders.